Deiveson Figueiredo versus Brandon Moreno went completely opposite of the way I thought it was going to go. I thought if we were looking at someone that was going to gas, I thought Figueiredo would be the guy that gassed. He didn't gas, and now I'm not saying Moreno gassed either. He didn't. It was both had great gas tanks, great energy, a whole lot going. That last bit in the fifth round was awesome. But Moreno actually showed that he had big power. Figueiredo had big power, but Moreno hurt Figueiredo several times. Figueiredo hurt Moreno and knocked him on his butt, but Moreno was able to come through him. But I think those knockdowns were the difference in the scoring, difference in the fight, and the fact that he was able to put Moreno on his butt while Moreno was able to hurt him and give him that little wobble. He wasn't really able to put him on his ass in the same fashion, and that happened multiple times in the fight. I thought that Figueiredo fought very smart, and that's where I did not think he was going to do before. I thought he was going to really come out and try to put it on Moreno, and the first round or so would go to him, but I thought that he would come out just trying to take Moreno's head off, and that would work against him. And he didn't. He fought smart, and at times he backed himself off, and I thought that he really showed, that he can be a very competent and intelligent fighter in the cage. He was tough as hell. He took some big shots. I thought Brandon Moreno looked great. It was a very close fight. I agree. I thought Figueiredo won the fight. I had it, 3-2, but it was close. And you're looking, that was a trilogy fight. They got to do 4. These guys are going to hold up the flyweight fucking division from other people getting a title shot for a while.
John, tell me who the number 3 guy is in the flyweight division. Off the top of your head. Don't pull it up, Dave.
Askar.
You don't even know who that guy is. Just making up names now, aren't you? What the fuck? Just making up names.
I think Askar's number would be after them, and then Pantoja.
You have no idea who's after Askar. You have no idea who's after.
I said Pantoja. What the hell is wrong with you?
He's like way down. He's like number 10.
Open up his earphones. Where are we at? Let's see.
I've got it up here.
Oh, look at that, Askar, and then Pantoja. Look at that.
Okay, so Dave, so he knows the next two. He knows the next 2 guys. Okay, that's it. No one wants to. Just watch these 2 guys continue to fight. This is the 125-pound division. It's been this way since DJ was there. This is it. You're going to see 3 guys, maybe just a revolving door. That's all you're going to get out of this division, John.
I don't think so. Look, I think you're taking a look at those 2 that fought, Deiveson and Brandon. Askar and then Pantoja are both right there. Brandon Royval is right there.
Yeah.
You could take a look at, some of these guys that are in there, and then, Kai Kara France, man, he had a great win against Cody Garbrandt.
Yeah.
There are guys there that, they should, be moving themselves into that position where they would be looked at. But when you have 2 guys like Brandon and Deiveson who put on, fights, this one wasn't, exactly the barn burner that everyone, might have, wanted or were expecting, but it had a ton of technical elements to it. It had a lot of back and forth. And when you have 2 guys that are this close and they're the 2 top guys, it's hard not to go back to them.
Yeah. I'm going to go back into what I said about the Francis fight. I was not impressed with this fight either.
I know you were.
Obviously, it was something I was expecting something obviously different, which, that's in my own mind, and that's my own fault for putting that type of thought process into and believing that it was going to be a different way. But it just wasn't a good fight. And the reason why I'm going to say it wasn't a good fight, it was more of not a good fight on Brandon Moreno's part. He, in the beginning, had clipped Figgy a couple times. He had clipped him, had him rocked a little bit, not super, oh my God, like he's on skates, but he had made his leg go stiff for a split second. And he did the whole shaking of the fingers or doing this. He let the excitement and the entertainment of the fight get away from him to the point where he lost the title. Then the other thing as well, that was earlier in the fight. As the fight went on, he was after he had got dropped, he had started landing shots, but didn't want to rush in and stop throwing. Like he still needed to put the added pressure. When I'm looking at the way that Moreno should have fought, there was moments in there where he had hit him with clean shots and could have put a little bit more pressure and made him fight into a dog fight, which would have made him, I think, more tired. If you listen to Henry Cejudo and Albertson in the corners yelling, and I said this last week, I said, look, he has got a game plan that will get him probably closer to winning this fight because those two guys are in his corner. One thing that Eric Albertson doesn't get is the credit for what he develops in terms of game plan. And I'm telling you, that game plan was solid. Now, it ended up being a really close fight. Probably not what they wanted. I think they thought the takedowns probably would have came a little bit easier for Figgy, and it would have been a better, like he would have been able to control the top position, whatever it was.
Yeah.
He wasn't able to get a whole lot of the takedowns. You know, he caught two, I think two it was, later in the fight. But those earlier takedowns weren't really there for him. And so, but, you know, he kept catching the single leg or snatching the single leg, getting to the double, then going to the single. He was, you know, working, hiking it up a little bit, just couldn't get the takedown. But still, he was making Moreno think about it. But overall, Moreno could have done a lot more and started pushing Figgy into a real, like, kind of a little bit of a dogfight, but getting into those exchanges. In that tight boxing range, the better fighter was Moreno. It was very key right off the bat. Every time he got into that phone booth, he was landing 3 and 4 punch combinations, but then he stood right there in the middle and was able to get punched on the way out, or he stopped throwing and backed out, and then Figgy just didn't throw either. And then Figgy lost the exchange, but it still wasn't enough. He could have backed away and then re-entered, make him readjust, or he could have kept going for something. He lost that fight off of the small little details, John, and we talk about this all the time. When you're at the top, when you're 1-2 or 2-1, whatever it is, champ and 1, okay, it's a fraction of a second of what you're doing or the minor details of the fight that cost you the fight. And that's exactly what it was. His corner should have been saying, hey, after you land, step out or cut an angle and land again. Instead, he backed out and just stepped away from him and let the fight go back to being normal. And Figgy got his breather, he got his rest, he did all those things. I'm going in hard on the pain on both these guys because you know they're better fighters in this. It was a strategic fight, very game plan style fight for both sides. But Moreno let his title slip away in positions where I know that he's a better fighter. He lost the dog in him a little bit from the last fight to this fight, and actually from the first 2 fights, where he landed some shots and then kept pushing. In this fight, he landed the shots and backed away and said, okay, I'm doing all right. That's what happened after he started getting dropped, or he started getting rocked a little bit and clipped here and there. Because he continued to rock Figgy throughout the rest of the fight. He just didn't continue to follow up. And I think that that's what cost him the fight. Now, I'm not saying he would have knocked him out. I'm not saying he would have finished him. But I'm saying, though, in the judge's eyes, the perception would have been he's trying to get him out of there. He landed some harder shots. Could have gotten some exchanges. Now, I know anything could happen because that's the fight game. Figgy could have hit him and clipped him and knocked him out. But we've seen in the first 2 fights, he can take a shot. We saw in this fight, he can take a shot. He can keep coming. But he's not going to, I don't think Moreno's going to run into this type of problem, John, with somebody that size, that type of power in the rest of the guys that are down there. Pantoja's not as big as Figgy, I don't believe. I mean, he seems long,
pretty big.
He's pretty big, but
he doesn't have Figueiredo's
power. Yeah, he doesn't have Figgy power. And then who else is on there? You were saying,
Asker.
Yeah,
Asker.
He's good. Yeah,
he's really good, man.
He's
Askarov
good.
is good. He's
He's gonna have a little bit of an issue with him.
He's gonna have an issue with the style, and the big difference is, I look at this fight, and it was coming off of the second round. I thought Brandon Moreno just put it on Figgy in the second round. Absolutely won that round.
Yeah, and
putting it on him, he should have stepped on the gas more going into third, and he didn't. He kind of laid back out of it, kind of said, I got him going. Things are going my way, and he kind of took the seat of being. I'll be the counter guy. I'll let him try to. When that's the time he should have been stepping on that gas pedal just a little bit more and putting a little bit more pressure, and start breaking his will with, I'm going nowhere, and this is just going to keep being this flow of water that you can't stop. It was that break between the second and third round, as far as the output and action, that just let Deiveson in this fight and allowed him to have a feel for, okay, I saw what you had. Now I'm going to come back with mine. And I thought Deiveson won the third round, and I think he won the fourth round. And that was the difference in the fight.
100% agree. Okay.